The Toronto Raptors may be one of the most confusing teams in the NBA. Some nights they look like the best team in the league, and other nights they make you question if they even should be in the NBA. The Toronto Raptors are a mixed bag. They either play really great or really bad, nothing in the middle. So why is this the case? Are the teams they're versing just better than them? Or is there something in the locker room that is making the Toronto Raptors play this bad and inconsistent? Let's find out what's happening to the Toronto Raptors. Just a quick reminder to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and check out some other videos on the channel. Now, let's get into the reasons why the Toronto Raptors are one of the most confusing teams in the NBA. At the start of the month of January, the Toronto Raptors began to make their push for the playoffs. They started January going 6-0. They bet the Clippers, the New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs, Milwaukee Bucks, the Utah Jazz, and the New Orleans Pelicans. And since that 6-0 start, they then fell to 3-6 of the rest of January. Most of the games they have lost have actually been to really good teams, and the games were actually pretty close. They lost to the Phoenix Suns by 4 points. They lost to the Miami Heat by 5 points. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks by 4 points. And they lost to the Chicago Bulls by 6 points. And the games they have won, they bet the Milwaukee Bucks, Washington Wizards, and Charlotte Hornets. So why am I saying that the Toronto Raptors are extremely confusing and inconsistent? Here's the reason why. Against the Detroit Pistons, who are one of the worst teams in the league, they played crap. That's the simplest way to say it. They played absolutely crap. They made a late push late in the game, but then Cade Cunningham hit a dagger three to put them out of their misery. They almost got blown out by the Portland Trail Blazers. At one point, they were down by 34 points and played a strong second half to get the lead down to 4 and then get their hearts ripped out once again. And they ended up losing that game by 9 points. You might be saying, these are just a few losses. Every team loses. But no. Against lower class teams, the Toronto Raptors are playing down to them and aren't coming out the gates strong with energy. They leave their runs late in the game and leave a big margin to chase to try and win the game. And these losses against good teams are all very close games and can go either way. So what are the reasons for these inconsistencies? As stated before, they don't come out the gates particularly strong with any energy. They have also had injuries along the way. Gary Trent missed some games, Scotty Barnes missed some games, and now Fred VanVleet is missing some games. And finally, they still lack a consistent closer late in games. These results haven't just been happening in January, they've been happening all season long. They consistently lose to really bad teams that are in the lottery and put up a great fight or even sometimes win against top teams. Myself, alongside other Raptors fans, aren't still 100% sure of what this team's potential is. We are either in the boat of, is this team a play-in team? Are they a playoff team? Or are they a top 5 or top 6 team in the Eastern Conference? Because some nights, they look like either or. People continue to make the case that we should trade away Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet and just build around Scotty Barnes. Which isn't a bad idea, but this team is better than what they are right now. What I believe is the main case why the Toronto Raptors are always up and down is they haven't had any consistency in their starting lineup. At the start of the season, Pascal Siakam didn't play for a month. During the month of December, us and the entire league were smacked by COVID, and the NBA forced the Toronto Raptors to play with hardly no players and a bunch of G League players. And then when we got hot and went on that 6-0 start to January, the Toronto Raptors had all their starters playing, which was Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. And once again, the Toronto Raptors are in their slump. This is because we haven't had Gary Trent Jr., who's one of our best shooters and shot creators on the team. Fred VanVleet has been out lately, and Scotty Barnes is in and out of the lineup with lingering injuries. So I say, we shouldn't hit the panic button on this team. We shouldn't make assumptions that we should trade everyone and just go back to the lottery and wait for Scotty Barnes to become a superstar. We need to give this team time and a chance to actually play with a full healthy lineup, because they have proven it. When they're all healthy, this team is a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. Now, don't get me wrong, I have said some stuff about this team, like trading Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, waiting for Scotty Barnes to become a superstar, blowing it up. Fred VanVleet is playing really, really bad. But the point is, we need to give this team some time. Be patient with this team, because they are a really good team on paper. It's just they lack in some areas and are never able to stay together. The way the Toronto Raptors can get back on track is firstly getting all healthy and building some team chemistry. Secondly, making some trades to update the bench lineup, because the bench is absolutely horrific and cannot score a bucket when it's most needed to. And lastly, play to our strengths. We ain't a great half-court team, but in the full court, we're one of the best in the league. Keep crashing the offensive glass and running the floor and get easy buckets in transition. That's what the Toronto Raptors are best at. So if the Toronto Raptors continue to play to their strengths and not their weaknesses, we can get back in the winning column. Because as it stands today, we are sitting at 500 and going one game up, and then one game down, and then even. That's how it has been all season long. Hopefully we can string some wins together and make a strong playoff push and avoid the play-in tournament. The Toronto Raptors are a really good basketball team and extremely underrated. But if we want people to recognize how good we are, we need to fire up a bit, play with some energy and heart, play with some spirit, and also get some officiating going our way. Because don't get me wrong, the officiating has been horrendous for us, and we have lost several games due to the bad officiating. But that's beside the point. If the Toronto Raptors play to their strengths and play with energy and come out the gate strong, we can start to string some W's together. If you like this video, go check out some other on the channel, and maybe consider subscribing to never miss out on NBA news and Toronto Raptors talks. If you enjoyed the video, I'll see you next time.